Broadcasting live from the moon and back, this is The Coin Chat, the most trusted voice for all things cryptocurrency. Each week we dissect an important issue and cut through the noise and misinformation out there in the world of blockchain, cryptocurrency, and ICOs, capturing the facts that truly matter to you that will give you an edge in this fast-moving emerging market. The who, what, where, when, and how of what you need to know in crypto to get ahead so you don't get left behind. Now here are your co-hosts, financial and crypto experts Yuri Cataldo and Steve Good.
Hey, this is Steve Good.
And Yuri Cataldo.
And today we're doing something a little different. We're going to do something called Checking Out the Charts to tell you where we think it's going. And of course, we're not giving you advice. We're just telling you where we think it's going because we're going to have a bit of fun.
That's right.
And Yuri, why are you in space today? Because we're checking out the charts.
Because we're checking out the charts. It's not for technical reasons whatsoever.
No.
Only chart related.
It's all chart related. Okay.
And optimistic. Moon optimism and chart related.
So before we jump into the chart, so real quick, I mean, the SEC is back in the picture again. Now we're hearing November 5th, they might review as many as 9 ETFs to consider them for the possibility of acceptance for trading. What do you think?
It's looking murky. So
Why?
Murky. That's just. So I am wildly
I thought you were the positive. Now you become the pessimist on the channel. Okay, good. Well, you be pessimistic when I do charts.
I'm pessimistic. Okay, great. I'm pessimistic just because it's the SEC, and I don't know if they have found strong enough reason to think that Bitcoin is not manipulated, and they're being overly cautious so people don't get taken, and I think that is dragging things along. So hopefully there's a better version than what the Winklevi twin have come up with. So. Murky, but I'm optimistic, but we'll see.
An optimistic, murky version of the truth. Okay, so let's just do something a little fun today. So I was doing a bit of looking at the charts for Bitcoin. It's not something that we've done before, but something that you've seen me do before and other guys in our little private groups we've done. So I thought, let's just have a bit of fun with this. I'm going to share my screen. I've been looking at Bitfinex, just one of many exchanges out there, sharing my screen, so hopefully you can see that okay. And I'm just going to have a look specifically at Bitcoin. Now, I'm going to try to zoom out a little tiny bit. Hopefully that does okay. So you can see this kind of really odd set of lines that I've drawn in here. And what I want to show you is something that's rather interesting that I've kind of found here. So I drew a line that goes all the way back to about the middle of September of last year. So we're almost a year ago. And I just drew a straight line out to the current trading patterns using a 12-hour chart. And what you'll see is that there's just a straight line that goes along in an upward trending pattern. And what I think is really interesting about this is that you see that Bitcoin hit about 5,900 and then trended up. That was back in the 13th of August. And then we trended along a little bit further along the same line at the bottom side of the line. It keeps hitting the bottom line, keeps bouncing back up. We got up to about 6,200. In September 20th, and now we're trending along and we're up to like the 6,600 range, still trailing along but staying above this line. And that's really important because I know people are saying we're trading sideways. On a short-term basis, we're absolutely trading sideways. But what's really interesting for me is this is like a one-year trend, and actually right now we seem to be kind of holding a very gradual upward pattern, which I think is cool. So that's
cool.
That's the positive story. Now I wanted to show you something else that I did, which is I drew another line, which was going back to about middle of December last year, where we had these big drop points. And I drew out another line to kind of just show kind of an extended set of lines that show potentially a pattern that we're now sitting in between, and I've just basically drawn parallel lines. And what I see, if I look at this, is it feels to me like we're trading sideways, but in a slightly upward pattern. And a lot of people keep talking, I mean, more recently about, are we about to see a movement upwards? Are we going sideways? Are we going up? I think actually we are in an upward pattern. It's just slow. And slow is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But the upward pattern, if it takes us out to the beginning of the new year, let's just say 31st of December, and you said to me, hey, Steve, do us a favor Give us your best guess. What's the 31st of December? So let's just put it out there. I'm going to give you my best.
That's right.
My
Give us your best guess.
My best guess right now for 31st of December, I'm going to say that we're going to be, at the high end. If we stayed within this pattern, we'd be at around 8,650.
Okay, that seems cautiously optimistic.
And at the bottom side of it, we'd be around 7,100.
Okay.
Okay. Now, bearing that in mind, there's every reason to believe that this could move upwards if something happens with the SEC. I'm not going to make that prediction today.
We should look at this again on November 9th and just see what happens on November 9th when they make their call.
I just want to give people a little bit of a sense of things that say, look, we might be in a bearish market, but actually, we're seeing higher lows. Okay, that means that each time it goes low, it's going higher than the previous time, which is what I'm showing here. And that's the most important thing. So I don't want people to be discouraged and say it's all going to hell and it's gone, it's finished, and all the rest. I don't believe the charts are telling us that. There has been more positive sentiment in the news more recently that I've seen. A number of people saying that they believe it's heading in an upward pattern again. I think this somewhat shows that that's true on a 1-year basis. Of course, anything can happen. A piece of bad news, it could drop below the line. A piece of great news, it could go way above the line. And then we're looking at heading up to 8,300 up to 9,800, which are the previous high points on this chart with ease.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't say 12,000 and I didn't say 25,000.
Right.
I'm not talking about eating any sort of my part of my body because I'm not making any bets like that. I just want to give people a sense as to where we are. And this is just a really quick bit of basic, technical analysis I've been doing. I want to share. And
well, the wild predictions, that's 2017. 2017, it was like everything was jumping. People were making wild predictions about eating all kinds of things. Right. I think now, 2018, we're more, again, cautiously optimistic, but optimistic.
Now, I thought I would do something similar with Ether because Ether's been, pretty scary for quite a while. So I drew a whole bunch of lines. I'm just going to focus in on one little piece of it right now because I don't want to there's a lot of stuff that we could cover about Ether and its movement, its direction, because it took a huge steep dive at one point. And I'm just looking at a little short-term piece here. See if I can zoom in on that just a bit. What I've been kind of noticing on Ether is it's been really going sideways. And I can't really say for sure where it's going right now, but what I do see, if I just zoom in on this little short-term piece here, which is really going from probably about mid-August to present, is that you kind of got this top line that I drew that shows all these points where it hits around 272, 273. And it kind of created a bit of a resistance line at 273, which is okay because actually it's a short-term resistance line. But we've had this little mini upward pattern that started when we broke that 170, 169 low, and then started to trend upwards very, very gently. And you can see this is very, very gentle kind of trend that it's going on right here. That's not particularly bad. And it's just slightly trending upwards, and it's kind of gone up to about 226, 230 at the bottom end. Now, what's interesting is that we get to the point where these two lines are going to come together. And if I try to just extend the line out there, which is the straight one. I keep getting this weird error here, sorry.
That's all right.
All right, I'm not having it. Okay. Anyway, there's a point where it reaches where this kind of resistance line at the 272 range and this upward trending line are eventually going to reach a point where it has to go one way or the other, either sideways across and possibly down, or it could break above it and go up. So Ether is not as bullish, in my opinion, because it's from what I see, there's more of a short-term movement up right now, but we really need to see it move more significantly up. On the plus side, it could go up toward 270 region, and if it does that, then there's a lot of reason to believe it could go even further up because there's a lot of room where there was just a lot of quick sell-offs and there's not a lot of resistance toward going up further. But right now, I'm really watching this little triangle between an upward trend of this 226 heading up to 270, 272, and this short-term resistance at 272. And that's what we've got to watch. I'd say let's follow that up again next week and just give people a refresh, tell them where we're at, and just see where this goes. Certainly, we're not giving people indications of buy, sell. We're just showing them where it's at. But they're indicators of what people should do. And of course, you can go get your own friends to tell you that are traders. Okay, he's right. Sell this or buy this. I mean, we can tell you what we think is probably the right thing to do based on that. But right now, you're in a trading pattern where it's an upward trending pattern. That's obviously one of those cases where you'd say hold and just wait and see where it goes. Don't do anything until it drops below the line. So slightly different situations, but just wanted to share that with you. I thought it was kind of interesting.
Yeah. But so I do want to share this on the optimistic side.
Oh, cool. We're going to finish optimistically today. I love
optimistically.
it.
So David Swenson, who runs the Yale's endowment, who is actually the best manager of an endowment, and I forgot, he started at a very low number and now they're above $1 billion. He is super alpha in this space, super optimistic about cryptocurrency, and he invested a large part of Yale's endowment, well, a portion of Yale's endowment into I think it's called Paradigm, Paradigm. It's a cryptocurrency paradigm. Sorry, I can't pronounce words. It's the crypto hedge fund run by the one of the Coinbase co-founders. So Yale's endowment. Yeah, Yale's endowment is now also in cryptocurrency, which I think is absolutely amazing.
Because you're, of course, in the U.S., you're inviting him to the show.
I would love to chat with David Swenson any possible way I can. I used to follow him around on Yale campus when I went there. I wish I could say I was making that up, but I didn't. I was trying to take so many of his classes when I was there.
Wow.
They're hard to get into because of how great of a trader he is.
Cool. Well, listen, I would just to wrap up on this. I mean, so look, I realize that a lot of our listeners on Spotify and Apple iTunes and Stitcher, they can't see what we showed. Of course, if you want to watch it, you can join us on YouTube, but we will try to be as verbose as we can when we do these types of things, to at least tell you that the outcome summary is Bitcoin is clearly in an upward trend right now on a long-term basis of a year, which looks healthier than what we've seen for a while. And Ether is on a short-term upward trend, and we just get to keep an eye on it and watch it. And that's all we can really say about it right now. We're not making any predictions today. We're not going to tell you what to do with your own portfolios. Of course, we always say hodl because that's what we believe is where, you'll make your long-term gains in crypto anyway. And don't sell in the market, of course, but everyone does their own thing. So that's really what I wanted to say to people who are listening. And those who are watching, of course, great to have you here. Our subscriber count is growing, which is great. We're very happy to see more and more people are watching the show, and that's why we're branching into new things like this. We'd love to get your feedback, comments below on what you think of this particular episode, our first cut in doing some charts, graphs, and research. And if anyone's got a coin they'd like us to cover, well, we'll take a stab. Why not?
Yeah.
It's a bit fun. Anything else you'd like to say here?
No. I think that's it for today. But
well, I think you should say to the moon till next time because you're sitting in space.
I am. Till the moon. Until next time.
Thank you for joining us today on The Coin Chat. Join us on Telegram on t.me/thecoinchat, where we discuss a range of topics on cryptocurrency. And visit us on patreon.com/thecoinchat for show notes, outtakes, and previews of additional content. Or follow us on our website, which is www.thecoinchat.net. And remember to like and subscribe to us on your way out. To the moon, until next time.